the night has remarkable powers of transformation. It changes things. In the daytime, this is just a scruffy bit of urban Berlin. But at night, with a full moon in the sky, there's mystery, suspense, and artistic possibilities. This is Katie Paterson. She's from Scotland, and she has a taste for the night as well, which is why the two of us are sitting in this converted skip in Berlin, looking up at the stars.
So where does all this come from then? What's driving you into these strange cosmic investigations? And when you're a kid, were you sort of sitting out there with your telescope, gazing up at the Scottish stars, or
maybe that's it. Maybe it's having spent so much time in the dark and in the night.
The first piece of yours I saw, Katie, was a piece involving a piano, in fact, and Beethoven. A rather complicated setup, and it was a delightful thing. Can you talk to us about that?
Yeah, I reflected Beethoven's Moonlight Sonata from the moon using a kind of radio transmission called Earth, Moon, Earth, or moon bounce, which involves sending signals to the moon in Morse code, and they reflect from the moon and they come back to Earth, but in the process not everything comes back.
So it's leaving bits of Beethoven on the moon, really, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, that's
never making it back to Earth, bits of the sonata.
Yeah, exactly.
The next piece of yours that I remember seeing, and I must say I thought it was a stunning piece of work, it sort of haunted me for quite a while after, was again to do with the moon. You went out and recreated moonlight with these strange light bulbs, didn't you?
Yeah, that's right. I've got quite an obsession with the moon. I decided to make a light bulb to simulate moonlight, a bit like the daylight bulbs that you can get in the shops. And so I approached a lighting engineer, scientist in the company Osram, and basically asked him to apply all the same kind of methods that they did to make this daylight bulb, but to try and recreate moonlight. So, for example, things like the colour temperature and the spectrum.
They're such beautiful things, those bulbs, and the light they cast is really fascinating. I mean, it's very subtle. You don't immediately recognise it, perhaps, but
yeah,
it's got a quality. It's got the quality of moonlight. It's that cool, beautiful.
I think I like that it's a really ordinary object, which then becomes, something completely different when it turns on. But yet it's still, it's always still a light bulb. But there's something about it. I watched them go into production in Slovakia, and I brought back one bulb in my bag. And when I got back to London, I put it in my room. And I went out to get milk or something, and there was a full moon outside, and the light bulb was on in my living room. And so I could see the moon and the light coming through the window, and I was really surprised because it was pretty accurate.
Hearing you talk about your work, my final sort of impression is that your work is interested in pointing out really how unimportant we are, really, in the bigger scheme of things.
I think something that really opened up when I was collecting the dead stars, I was finding out things like when a star dies, the material that it ejects is what created the Earth, basically, and what created life. And so from going from feeling this huge disconnection between maybe people and nature to feeling like actually there's an absolute, deep interconnection between absolutely everything in the universe.
So you're telling me that we're all made out of the stars, really?
Yeah, no, it's true. it's definitely true. It's not just a cliche. We are actually all made from the materials of dying stars.
Oh, that makes me feel better about myself.